Well, hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today we're going to do a mid-March 2023 reading for the sign of Pisces. If this is the first time to my channel, welcome Pisces. Whoa, I'm going to take that card. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you very much for your support. I'm glad to see you here again. So, I just want to mention, I want to start doing extended readings. However, it doesn't fit into my schedule to do all of the signs, so I'm going to start tallying up the likes on the videos for your sign, and probably the one or two signs that have the most likes the previous time will get the extended reading for the next readings I do. So we're looking at the April readings, because this is mid-March, right? So I just wanted to mention that. And also, of course, it helps with the algorithms with YouTube. There's always that, but I just see it as a win-win for both of us. You get an extended reading, and I hopefully get a little bit more traffic on the channel to keep it going, because eventually I'd like to become one of those larger channels. That's my goal. And I'm steadily marching towards it. So thank you very much for anyone who's supported and keeps coming back. Glad you enjoy them. Let's go ahead and dig into this, okay? Five of Diamonds, you have some kind of financial change coming here. This usually talks about some kind of negotiation or settlement, which is exciting. Could be like you leaving a job and there's some kind of severance, or perhaps you're able to pull out money out of an account because you're leaving that job, or they're just giving you some kind of severance package. Is kind of an old-fashioned term. I don't know what you'd call it these days, but could be some kind of windfall in that sense. But it also could be the end of a relationship and you're actually dividing up assets or selling off property, and therefore you have some kind of negotiation in that sense. But there's also some kind of communication that needs to happen, perhaps around the negotiation or settlement. This will restore the harmony and balance. The Seven of Hearts could be the end of a relationship. Although I've had readings where the Seven of Hearts comes out in the career workplace context. Even though we're not necessarily best friends with our coworkers or our supervisors, but if you stay in a place long enough, it does affect you emotionally. It just has to, because you're coming in contact with other humans, and it doesn't matter the context. They can try to keep it as non-personal as they want. It still affects people on a human level. So you could have had some kind of disappointment around that. The Seven of Hearts does usually talk about a person, though, that lets you down in some way. Some kind of short-lived downer situation. Interesting, though, you have some kind of chapter wrapped up. And this is kind of the ultimate happiness card. It's celebration. I'm just going to just put this out there. Perhaps, Pisces, you've left a situation that, even though it was hurtful, it might have been hurtful in the context of being involved in it, but now that you're away from it, you're celebrating. It's actually like a big relief. I'm sensing something like that. Something you're putting behind you. But this communication, I don't know, maybe it still needs to happen in some way. Or it's just about, talking through it with somebody, like a friend or a confidant or even a therapist. But there is some kind of financial settlement there. I see that. I see that much. Let's go ahead and ask for more cards for Pisces. Five of Clubs. Yeah, some kind of change needed to happen here because something was stagnant. So again, that's kind of a sweeping change I see in both senses. So you get both fives here. And in one sense, things are stagnant, standing still. And in another sense, it's like it's over. And as a result, you're benefiting from that financially. Again, with that negotiation or settlement, some kind of agreement. But whatever change needed to change out of necessity, just it was inevitable in some ways. The Queen of Diamonds, you could be dealing with a earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could have this in your chart, but I tend to see Queen of Diamonds, honestly, as the Taurus energy. I don't know why I always associate the Queen with the Taurus, but I just do. I've known some Tauruses personally, so maybe that's kind of wrapped up in there. But this Queen has some power and authority, and she's particularly good in financial matters, I will tell you that. It could be that you're taking this position in your life, now that you've kind of gotten a break. You're taking real power over your finances, some kind of definite control. Especially if you have to switch jobs. Let's say, going forward, you have some goals in mind, and you're going to be very pragmatic in the way that you perhaps seek another position. In any case, I feel like it's wrapped up with income, some kind of abundant flow that comes into your life, and restructuring that in some way, in a different way. Ace of Diamonds. Yeah, you are on this new start financially. The Ace of Diamonds also talks about that desire to bump it up, to increase your flow, to increase your abundance in some way. So I definitely see you seeking not only a new opportunity, but improving the circumstances that you've had in the past. It's this time to get that going. But you're a little distrustful of the situation, perhaps, or distrustful of the future. The Jack of Spades can be a younger air sign, Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, but I tend to see this also as the sign I'm reading for. They just don't, they have a little suspicion about where they're headed, just a little distrustful. It could just denote, that you're just a bit worried about where you're going to land. Not like there's any particular reason to distrust somebody or something. I think when we leave old situations, especially if they happen rather suddenly, it just leaves us kind of unsettled and, feeling a little bit insecure. It could be that insecurity that the Jack of Spades is tapping into. Again, it could be a younger air sign, so take it how it fits your situation. But you're definitely headed in a new start in a direction that satisfies you on a deeper level. This is about pursuing your passion, what you truly desire. And it's not necessarily romantic, but it is wrapped up with you emotionally, Pisces. And you're an emotional sign. So you're putting that as a priority, I see, going forward, which is fantastic. It's actually probably a very good time in your life to do that, especially since there's some kind of celebration. So you have this good energy around that with the Ten of Hearts. You know what I mean? So you may be a little bit worried, a little bit distrustful of what's coming ahead, and maybe that distrust is the residue from whatever transpired before, but you're in this very good energy, this very good vibe. You're putting out the good vibe signals, so I see that as a very positive outlook, just to give you maybe a little condolence there, okay? Let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. 4 clubs. Things are very solid and stable in your home life. Just a little check-in there as far as advice goes. Maybe you had a little bit worried that it's going to disturb you financially, where you're going to have to move or start, really watching your spending. But I see things being very stable in that area. But there is some struggle here. I think it's just the struggle, the inner struggle you have, how things are going to turn out, what the future is going to look like. Where, again, kind of where you're going to land. Threes do denote being pulled in a couple different directions, so perhaps you have a couple ideas and you're kind of fretting over which idea to pursue. I'm picking up something in that area. Yeah. Okay, 4 of spades. Another 4. So again, emphasis on the home, the lifestyle. This denotes some kind of stress relief, though. So there's some kind of relief that is coming in for you that you may not expect. Perhaps whatever this job situation was, or this source of income, was causing stress in the home. I don't see you as having a rocky foundation in your home life in the past even. It's just that perhaps the emotional aspects of it were affecting your home life. Perhaps you just weren't able to relax at home. And so when you had your days off, you were still worried and focusing on what was going on here. And so therefore, mentally, emotionally, you weren't able to disengage from that. So you're in a period of stress relief because I think you've walked away from it. You're not involved in it anymore, and you have this settlement here. And that stagnancy, I think, was the past source of stress. Things not going anywhere, and you perhaps realizing it wasn't going to go anywhere. Balance and harmony in finances. Again, your financial future, it looks fine. It looks very solid. It looks sound. Now, if you're involved with somebody, this does highlight kind of the financial health in a relationship. If you're not involved with somebody, I just see it as the balance and harmony within your own financial health. So you're headed in that direction. This is how I read my cards of advice. So let's go ahead and see what the other direction will say. More cards of advice for Pisces, please. Mid-March 2023 and their situation going forward would be most helpful and appreciated. Yeah, it just flipped out. 6 of Hearts. Options, opportunities coming up for you to meet somebody significant. Maybe in business. Not necessarily romantic, but also could be romantic. Or just meeting people who are going to be really good connections for you in some other form. But since we kind of have a highlight on business and income and abundance, you may meet that person who hooks you up with the right employment situation going forward, or if you're the entrepreneurial type and you want to start your own business or just go off on your own, you might meet that person that can help you with that, maybe even join you in that journey. But lots of options and opportunities and doors opening for you in that sense. And again, a new start. This new start emphasizes the gaining of knowledge and some kind of skill. Sorry about that, I didn't have my words right, so I was kind of stuck on it there for a second. But it's needing to learn something new, acquire something new in a skill. Usually this is not so much about emotional aspects. It's more tangible things. Perhaps the new skill is getting a certification or just learning about a new opportunity that you can go into from the one you were just in. It's just a little bit different, so you need additional training in it. Or just, it could be something you're not aware of that you could transition into from your old position. That you actually do have that skill set, but you have to kind of learn a little bit more about it before that becomes a reality, you know. But you're definitely in a new start. You're looking for something new and fresh. I picked that up very strongly down here with you following your heart and what you truly desire. The Queen of Hearts. Now this could be you. This is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Or you could have somebody around you who's kind of a motherly figure, someone who's giving you a lot of nurturing at the moment, or will be. Since this is the cards of advice, maybe you need to go to somebody who can provide that for you. It's just somebody who takes care of others, especially around emotions, but they can also offer guidance and support. Could be an older water sign, but this could also be you providing that self-care and self-love towards yourself in whatever form that is. Maybe just pampering yourself for a while. It's the card of advice to seek that out, and whatever form that takes, that is going to help you along this new start and learning and gaining this new knowledge or skill. Any more cards of advice for Pisces, please? I do want to remind you this is a general reading, so if this doesn't fit your situation, that's all right. You can always come back to another reading, and it may. General readings can never apply to everybody, you know. So just want to put that out there as a friendly reminder. Something is definitely, a chapter is definitely closed for you. Something is definitely over. Again, I'm kind of choking on my words. I feel like you may be choked up about this, because this is actually pretty heavy energy with the Ten of Spades. This is a major loss, major disappointment. It involves a degree of processing it and kind of going through the steps of healing from it. This probably affected you on a much deeper level. This situation we talked about earlier than was apparent, and it's just kind of under the surface. It's also possible, I'm picking up, you may have had something else going on in your life at the same time. Maybe somebody passed away, somebody was going through an illness, or you ended a relationship or a marriage. Nonetheless, when I see the Ten of Spades in the cards of advice, I see that as it's confirmation it's over, it's behind you, and it's done. It is done. So no worries. That's not going to pop up for you again. It just may indicate you need to go through more healing in whatever regard that is. I am going to ask for another card of advice. I don't want to end on that energy. That's just kind of a bad way to end a reading. I'm sure you'd agree. Another card of advice. Nice. King of Hearts. Along with the Queen of Hearts, the King of Hearts. It's kind of that nurturing power authority. Again, it's water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but it's more fatherly than motherly. So there is a bit of nurturing and care, but it's just a little bit more not controlling. That's not a good word to use in this context, but it's more firm. So their guidance and support is just a little bit more firm in their approach. You may just see them as more of a commanding force in some way. Definitely could be somebody outside of you. It's not necessarily a water sign. They just have that, taking care in a fatherly way energy towards you. Or you can seek that out. You did get that Queen of Spades, and I do just want to kind of hold this up for a second. This is an interesting 3 cards that came out. You see how you have the nurturing kind of parental energy on both sides of this really difficult darkness in the middle with the Ten of Spades. I mean, outside of the context of this reading, I'd almost think that you went through some kind of divorce from a partner. That could be what that Ten of Spades is trying to tell me. If not, I just feel like you're surrounded, literally, by loving energy. People who can really help you and guide you. Maybe it literally is your parents. Those of us who are young enough to still have our parents around, you just may have the love and support from them. Or you're being guided in that direction to seek that out, to take advantage of it. Not in a negative way, but to use it, because you need it. Oh no, I am going to leave it there, but I just was looking at that going, that's almost like the spade is like a division between the King of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts. I just find that as a very interesting visual there. And yes, it literally could mean that that's what you came out of. You came out of this long-term relationship. Maybe you were involved with your spouse in business and employment. And that's kind of capping off the reading here, because I am going to end it there. I hope you gained some insight. Some things became clear to you. But it looks like you're headed in a very balanced financial direction. So if there's any worry around that, you're definitely on the right path. And, don't forget about this. Paying attention to what you truly want is most important right now. And I think you're being supported by the universe, supported by the unseen forces, however you envision those. Yeah. I think you're on solid ground. No matter what transpired. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. If you would like to see when the next reading comes out, don't forget to hit subscribe, notifications. If you are interested in extended readings, don't forget to hit the thumbs up symbol. And if you're interested in making a small donation to help to support the channel, I have a link in the bottom of the description box. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. You can copy and paste that into your browser and it takes you right there. It's really simple. Thank you in advance if you're able to do that, and I will see you again soon, Pisces.